What's up, people? Alex here. 10 dudes in suits, I'm calling it. 10 guys in suits, 10 people in suits. I'm going 10 dudes in suits. It's like suit it, boot it, dudes in suits. More vinyl community thread nonsense, my favorite kind, for one of my favorite people, MGK Boston. Mike, this is for you. I even got all dapper up for you. Do not worry, Mike, and everybody else out there. As you can imagine, I'm not wearing pants. All right, 10 album covers that show people in suits. Suit, tie, all the different things. We love it. Yeah, I got 10, 12, something like that. There's some obvious ones, but they're fun. Yeah, the most obvious one, but you gotta go with it. Dress to Kill from Kiss. I love that cover. I mean, that's such a great cover. The back's great too, though. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people are gonna show this. Gary, I'm looking at you, but it's just too good not to share it. So boom, Kiss, Dress to Kill. This is a fun one again, a very obvious one, but a little history lesson here we'll go with. So the first U.S. Release of a Beatles record, I guess, before it was Capitol, it was on VJ called Introducing the Beatles. Now, here's the funny thing, because of all the legal things of going on and the huge popularity and all the stuff, this is the most heavily counterfeited record in recording history for sure. And so a couple different things on the history lesson here. So this is a genuine copy, although not a first press. The first press, there was a couple different song choices, and then the second version came out. But this is a first press. I'm sorry, this is an original, a real one here. This is a fake one. Most, I would say 99.9999999% of these that are stereophonic or stereo are counterfeits. There are some, but they're just incredibly rare. You got to remember this was 1964 here. So that's really the first thing. If you see one of these in a stereo, it's probably a counterfeit. The other way you know is on the back, that VJ sort of ring label. You see how there's hardly any green at all showing up there? Very little green. It's not really a tight band at all, opposed to, let's see here, this one. You see how much more the color pops on that band and how just that is? Okay, that's the other big difference. And the third big difference, people will talk about the ties and the covers, all that kind of stuff, but the third big difference between the counterfeits and the real ones are here you have Introducing the Beatles, and then the Spindle Hole. So it's Introducing the Beatles, the Spindle Hole. That's a real one. The fake ones are Introducing the Beatles, Spindle Hole, the Beatles. So if you didn't know, there is your history lesson on Introducing the Beatles, the most highly counterfeited record of all time. This was the last record he did for Asylum. It was also the last record he did on Substances, but one of my favorite artists, and so I still do love this record. And that is Warren Zevon, the Envoy. There he is sort of waiting outside for a plane or something with his paper in his hand. But yeah, Warren chilling there. Oh, always a fine-dressed man. He usually was wearing a suit. This is a white label promo for the nerds out there. I will say, again, I love this record. One of my favorite Warren songs. I mean, he just did a great ballad all the time. But It's Never Too Late for Love is such a great song. I love the Hula Hula Boys. Such a stupid, silly song. And the fact that the chorus bit is sung in native Hawaiian language, but it translates to just now sing the chorus in Hawaiian. Brilliant, yeah. Warren Zevon. There we go. How about the second from Tom Waits, The Heart of Saturday Night. Great cover. And he's looking mighty, mighty fine. That's some good stuff right there. Tom Waits. Here's a classic one, 5 dudes in suits. The Yardbirds. Maybe obviously incredibly influential. They had everybody and their brother in the band at the time. Yeah, I mean, this has got, everybody on there. Jimmy Page, Clapton, Jeff Beck, Keith Rolfe, whatever his name is, went on to do Renaissance. Yeah, 5 dudes in suits. Boom. How about this? How about the first solo record? And this is really more of like a poppy, almost new wavy type record. But how about Exposure from Robert Fripp? This was 1979. Of course, Robert Fripp met up with Tony Levin and company earlier on Peter Gabriel records, Bowie records, all that kind of stuff. So 1979 Exposure from the Frippy. All right. How about this one? This goes out to Brian out there, Embryonic Robot, if you're watching. Kind of a funny, goofy proto-new wave band, but I remember they're in a suit. The Fabulous Poodles. Look at that. Look at that guy in a suit and tie. Fabulous Poodles. This is Mir Stars. This is kind of like a comp of their first 2 records that were only released in Europe or whatever, so of course they kind of comped it for the US release. 1978 it looks like, but yeah, goofy band for sure. But suits indeed. Well, of course, I got to pay my Cheap Trick tax. If you don't, you don't. How about that? The debut. I know Gary over at Physical Format Rock and Roll showed a Cheap Trick record, but here's their debut. Of course, the great Rick Nielsen looking great in that bow tie. Just killing it. Absolutely. Great stuff. This, maybe, tragically enough, is the only Ry Cooder record I own. Maybe because I got it for $1. This is Bop Till You Drop. Can't say I love this cover, but it is a dude in a suit. Yeah, what was this? 80? Oh, it was 79. Okay. Bop Till You Drop, Ry Cooder, dude in a suit. Well, you could pick any number of jazz band or jazz artists. They're all in suits and ties all the time. But, you know, the best dressed one by far, the coolest man, not only in jazz, but in music history, has got to be Miles. And this is what I thought of immediately. My Funny Valentine, Miles Davis in concert. Just look at that. That was a look he gave all the people all the time. Great stuff. How about Bbop Deluxe? Probably their last really, really, really good album. Let's put it that way. You know what? This is a great record. But their last great record for sure. Modern music. All of them dressed up, ready to go, suited, booted. Yeah, kind of proto new wave, more art poppy, progressive art rock type stuff. I love this band, Bbop Deluxe. I've talked about them before, but definitely dudes in suits. You know, Bill Nelson, what a man, what a man. And then last one I got for you, of course, is the man himself, Billy Joel, 52nd Street. You think you had a big shot, DJ? Something like that. 78, man in a suit and tie. Anyway, that's it. I'm sweating. I'm hot. Love you, Mike. Take care, everybody. Bye.